Hi there, my name is Leanne Deering and I am a wellness coach. Today I wanted to talk about the 7 steps to make real change and stick with it. So it is January, which is typically a month a lot of people do make changes, and yet a lot of people really struggle with being able to follow through with the changes. So, I think that has a lot to do with the fact that people put extra stress and pressure on themselves just because it happens to be January, and it almost makes it more difficult because of that added pressure. So if you just try and follow these 7 steps to make a change, hopefully it will be very helpful for you. All right, so step number 1 is to choose just one thing to focus on. Instead of talking about focusing on your diet and your exercise, maybe trying to sleep better, maybe drink more water, just choose one thing. All right. Step number 2 is to write down a goal statement. Now you want to write the goals in the present tense, purpose being that when you're reading it out, your subconscious will already think that you're doing it, which is going to be helpful. You also want to write this goal statement in positive terms. So for example, I'm not eating potato chips for 1 month. Instead, you would say, I am eating healthy, unprocessed foods for 1 month. And this just makes you focus on what you're actually going to be doing versus what you don't want to be doing. All right, you don't want to draw energy to that. And also in this goal statement, you want to make sure that it has a timeline on it. So in the example I used, I gave a 1 month timeline. So to recap, your goal statement should be written in the present tense, in positive terms, and include a timeline. All right. Step number 3 is to write down an outcome measure for your goal. This is so that when you're finished, you'll have something to know that you've been successful with following the goal. For the example I used, it could be every day I followed the goal to put an X on the calendar. Then at the end of the month, I would have 30 X's, and that would be a measure I could use to know that I have achieved the goal. Okay, so that's step number 3. Step number 4 is that you want to write down why you're doing the goal, okay? This is really important so that you can kind of develop an emotional connection to the goal, and it's going to be make you more invested in moving forward with the goal in the first place. So as an example, for the goal I gave, my why could be is that I want to have more energy and just feel more vibrant in my day-to-day life. Okay, so that's step number 4, is to write down your why. Step number 5 is to write down any sort of obstacles you may come across when you're going to be moving forward with the goal. Okay, so this is important to do so that when the obstacles come up, you're going to know about them already and have solutions in your head about what to do. So an obstacle that you may come across with the example I used would be if you're going to a social event and there's kind of unhealthy foods there. Your solution to prepare yourself to be okay with saying no and just explain to people that you are choosing to eat healthier foods because you want to have more energy. All right. Step number 6 is to write down your action steps for this goal. So this is exactly, what do you actually have to do to make the goal happen? So action steps for my example could be to go through my fridge and the pantry and take out all of the unhealthy food. It could include make a list of healthy foods I want to buy, go to the grocery store and actually buy those foods, maybe look up a few new recipes to make healthy meals. And then for each action step, you want to write down the time and the day that you're going to do it. So it's really kind of an accurate thing that you're going to do. You're writing down like the day of the week and the time of the day that you're going to do it. And finally, step number 7 is you want to tell your friends and your family about it. Okay, because when you tell them, you're going to be more likely to follow through with your goal and do it because you want to have something positive to tell them when they ask you. So that is the final step, is to get that accountability from your friends and your family. So those are the 7 steps for making real change. I hope that they will be very helpful for you. And if you do make a mistake, just be kind to yourself and use that as an opportunity to reflect and write it down as an obstacle and what you can do as a solution for the future if it comes up again. So thank you very much for listening. I hope this will help you out in this month of change. And please leave any comments or questions below. Thanks again.